Rulani Mokwena from Mamelodi Sundowns. Just to preview the big one, the final on Saturday, taking place at the Mbombela Stadium. Kickoff is 1500 hours. Gates will be opening at 11 o'clock, so please do spread the message out. The tickets are sold out. People who do not have tickets are requested to stay at home and enjoy it on Super Sport, the PSL channel, as well as SABC One. Coach, maybe just with the opening remarks, maybe briefly, just zoom into the team. I think you've had your last training session in Joburg or in Gauteng. I know no player is suspended, but in terms of injuries, is there anyone who's unavailable, or is it too early to tell?
Yeah, good afternoon to members of the media. No, it's too early to tell. There's a few concerns with the flu and one or two niggling injuries, but we'll give it up until the last minute to make decisions, because they are very important players for us.
Thank you, Coach. I want to give you guys more time to ask the questions, so I will take the first round of questions just by show of hands. We should have a roving microphone. I've noted you can sign. Let's start there at the back, Benjamin. Okay. Nello, please be mindful of the cameras, my brother.
Coach
Shatsi is getting agitated.
Coach Benjamin Yurenda Sokaladuma, congratulations for winning the 7th league in a row.
Thank you, sir.
Disappointing result against Cape Town City, obvious.
Yeah.
This game, to you as a coach and as a team, do you say it comes at the right time, that after losing to Cape Town City, you want to lift yourselves up and forget about the loss and go into a win and finishing the season in a high by winning the Nedbank Cup?
Well, there's no other time. You got to play the final. You got yourself into this position, and I think the most important thing for us is to play the final. And, yeah.
I think it's being attended to, Coach.
Is it?
You can continue.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think there's a better time, Benji. I think we have to play, have to do what we have to do and get the job done. It's a cup final, completely different competition, and we just want to make sure that we win the trophy and finish, as you say, finish the season on a high. That's what this group deserves, and hopefully we can do that on Saturday.
Alright, I think we're there. As it can time, let's get the camera to him. A microphone rather.
Thanks, Fatu. Good day, Coach.
How you can?
Yourself?
Good.
Sure. Coach, you go into your 57th game of the season. Amassed over at least 140 or 150 minutes in travel time alone. Not even counting the trip to Mbombela. This is the one...
Trips to Mbombela?
No, not counting the trip to Mbombela now.
Well, trips to Mbombela. We once went to Mbombela and didn't play.
That's a story for another day.
Okay.
You've had one of the rarest weeks of having the whole 7 days to prepare for a game, which hasn't happened in a while, because you've been playing every 2 to 3 days. Does this come to your? Is it to your advantage now that you get so much time to rest? Are you looking to use that to your advantage?
No. Actually, I was very excited that we had some training time. I haven't had training time with these players, and I enjoyed the last 2 training sessions. The quality, the intensity, the energy. We trained like a team that's just lost a football match, and I was very happy with the reaction, and especially because, as you say, we hardly have my training sessions this year have been 10 minutes, and I've had a stopwatch, but my stopwatch is not it's a countdown, so it counts down from 10 minutes, and then it beeps immediately at the end of 10 minutes. It beeps, and I'm not allowed to go further than that. This week I've been able to see the players do different things. I've been able to stimulate and try and stress them a little bit more. So that's been actually the biggest positive in having a neutral week.
Jabulo, do you have the mic?
Jabulo Gito from News 24.
Hi, Jobs.
This game has had some very fierce battles, like on and off the field. I mean, one of them was the game at Loftus, where there was a lot that happened, and at that time you were on the other side.
Yeah.
During that period, how did you handle that intensity and sort of on and off battles during that period? And the second part of the question is, what is it about this game that brings out the best out of these two teams when they face each other?
I think it's just the magnitude of the clubs. I think it's two big clubs for sure, and I think the profile of the players, when you have 11 good players on one side and 11 very good players on the other side, you're bound to have a good match. You know, football match, you need 3 teams and 3 good teams. I know that we will have one very good team that is well prepared. Well, I'm 100% sure that we will be ready, and I hope the other 2 teams are also just as ready to give the right curtain raiser for what has been a very good season.
Okay, I think you're not covered. Just, yeah, there's a microphone behind you.
So,
I was saying, then the first aspect in terms of how did you handle it when the intensity and the fierce, because you've spoken that the relationship and the respect that you have for Coach Jose, but how did you handle it when it was that intense and fierce on and off the field?
no, I can't. It's so far back that I can't remember. The only thing I remember is getting attacked by a Sundowns supporter. that I will never forget. But I've moved on from that. You know, it's something that the gentleman that committed that attack, he must know that I've forgiven him. And that was one thing that I was raised and taught, that there are times where you forgive people even for the apologies that they've never expressed. And so that's just where I am. I don't know how else to answer that question, because I don't even have, the memories are very vague, to be honest with you.
I wonder if that guy still sees you doing things at Sundowns, but just Coach Thamba Shabalala, Joseph from Sports. I'm just worried about the negativity that the team has been facing. I mean, this week alone there was a Mvala incident where he was attacked by even Sundowns fans on socials and all of that. There was a lodge incident. There was the last day match where you lost. How then do you keep these boys up and running, knowing that you've got quite a team on the other side that is so pumped up? I mean, even their coach walking in here, he was walking with his head high. I'm looking at all of the mix that happens now. How does Rulani then keep his boys going, looking at the magnitude of the match that is coming, which is dubbed the biggest final of our time?
We've been by far the best team this season, and I'm not apologetic to say that. By far. And the log never lies. And sometimes in football, some cliches are used when they suit us, and sometimes we use them when they don't suit us. And there's an old adage that says the league table never lies. And so when you look at where we are in the league, how we played this season, and the number of games we went unbeaten, 29, something that's never been done ever before. Your perspective is not necessarily on what has happened in the immediate. what I can say in relation to that is something that I look at as a life principle myself. They say that heroes and villains have the same background story, and it involves pain, tribulations, trials. The difference is that heroes use the pain, the trials, the tribulations, and they use that to try to protect other people from experiencing the pain, that the same trials and the tribulations. Whereas villains use those pains and those moments of trials and tribulations to inflict further pain and trials and tribulations to other people. So we want to try to always be heroes. Heroes not only for our people, the Sundowns nation, but heroes for the South African public at large. This country is going through a lot of things. In fact, the whole world is going through a lot of things. But if people are able to look at us and say, even though they go through difficulties and trials and tribulations and difficult moments, they still are able to bounce back and try and give smiles on faces of the people that love and support them. And that's the perspective that I try to share with the players, and it's the mentality that we've tried to carry throughout the entire season.
All right, Mihlali, mic behind you, sir.
Thank you.
Coach, yeah.
Hey, Mihlali.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon, sir.
Coach, on Saturday you can get to be more of your hero in your own story that you are writing with this beautiful club, the Sundowns. But you might come against a club that is so close to your heart, and you've already had that one loss in the MTN Cup final. What would this mean to you to actually, maybe get one better of a club that is very close to your heart in a cup final this month?
No, I'm the least important person in Sundowns. The least important person. So what it means to me or doesn't mean to me is probably the furthest thing from my mind.
Okay, I saw a hand somewhere. Oh, it was Mahlatsi. Can you get mic to Mahlatsi?
Good afternoon, Coach.
Afternoon, Mahlatsi.
There's been, over the last while, people who have made argument that the match between Sundowns and Pirates is better in terms of quality, excitement, and all that kind of stuff. Having experienced the Soweto derby, does it come anywhere close? Is it better? As a football match, as a spectacle, and how much are we looking forward to this one? And if I can maybe have a second bite on following up on Practice's question on Lodge. Obviously the club has not pronounced itself as to whether he has breached any internal protocols in terms of conduct and stuff, but I just want to check if he's available for the match on Saturday, whether he has transgressed or not.
No, the games, it's difficult to compare. I've been fortunate to be involved in those type of games, but it will be very difficult to compare because I think the dynamics around both games are a little bit different, So I don't think it would be fair for me to compare the Soweto derby to a Sundowns Pirates fixture, even though over the last few seasons the Sundowns, and I think if you look even from a marketing perspective, maybe Fatu is better informed or in a better position to validate my statement, but from a viewership perspective, it's probably the most viewed match in the PSL calendar. And so of course there's some excitement and there's a rivalry between the two clubs, and rightfully so, because of the stature and the magnitude of the clubs. But it would be extremely unfair to compare the profile of both fixtures. On Lodge, is he available for Saturday? No, he's not available for Saturday. And these type of things, and I say this to you guys all the time, when it comes to players, you will get no negative word from me. I always protect my players in the media. The space where I am open and honest with them is when I close my office and I have a face-to-face conversation with them. and so you're not gonna hear anything about Lodge from me today.
Okay, next round of questions is by a show of hands. I've noted you, Temba. I'm looking for new hands as well. Let's see if we've got any new hands. And I can confirm, coach, this fixture, past 5 years, in terms of the ratings, number 1 on TV.
No.
In terms of viewership. Yeah.
Thanks for. I don't lie.
Temba, you can go ahead.
Coach, I'm looking at. I know you said you don't want to be it to be about you, but be that as it may, Coach, you are a 37-year-old coach, a Soweto-born coach, a young boy was a guy. So I'm not in a derogatory way.
No, for sure. I understand the context of the question.
But what you are doing has not been done in this country by any person. You know, it stands to be corrected as well. What does it mean for a Rulani to go out and create his own history with such a big club as Sundowns, and making sure that you bring them back to where they belong? They're winning every trophy that is available, and winning this final for you, surely it will have some milestone that goes into it, playing against a team that comes from your own family.
Yeah, the issue on the family ties and what it means in relation to internalize the fixture is extremely egotistical in a sense, and I don't like going in that space because football is not about the individuals. In fact, football is not even about us, the people who are meant. I read something the other day where I think it was Pablo Aima, and he said, as coaches, you are 90% responsible of all the defeats, and you 10% responsible of the victories, and that's something that is so true. The unfortunate part on everything is I don't know whether it's society where we've come to that point, but the truth of the matter is, if you look around the world, Xavi is complaining about. I mean, they say to Xavi, "What's your advice to the incoming coach?" And his first thing is he's gonna suffer. Jurgen Klopp, he says, "I'm tired, I'm gone." So I don't know if it's where we've gone with society, where I don't know, but yeah, that's why I try not to make it about myself, because my feelings are my feelings, and they are not the club's feelings. They are my personal feelings, and my personal feelings are different to sometimes what people may think in relation to a lot of things that go on, and then you ask yourself and you say, but if this is happening when I'm winning so many games as the coach, what's going to happen? I would love to stay at Sundowns for 8-9 years and do a Pep, a Klopp. I would love to. I love Sundowns. I love the club. I give my all for the club and for the supporters, but sometimes I say to myself, I don't think it's possible. I don't think I will ever stay 8 years, 9 years like Pep anymore, because the truth of the matter is that I'm going to have to go 1 or 2 seasons without winning the Champions League. I'm going to go 1 or 2 seasons without winning the league. And I'm not sure what type of reaction I will get if I go a season without winning the Champions League. I mean, Pep, 8 years, at Man City 9 years, won the Champions League once. And there were seasons where he didn't even win the Premier League, but he spent 8 years, 9 years. Klopp has won the English Premier League once or twice, maybe. Once, the Champions League once, but he stayed 8 years. And his parting shot was, I left and I felt appreciated from the beginning to the absolute end. And sometimes I'm not so sure. And I pray to God we never get into that space where we go into a streak where we don't win anything. I doubt that would ever happen. But football being football, it is a possibility. And then I asked myself to say, the other day, I think Shupi came to me and said, someone from the media said, Coach Rulani is under pressure. And no one can put pressure on me because I put pressure on myself. I put more pressure on myself than anybody else. So that's the if I'm under pressure, what about the people that are 23 points behind us? If my job, I'm under pressure with my job, yeah, but what about the people who are 23 points behind us? No, I'm not being, I'm just generally, because I've heard this talk, I've heard this talk that I don't know what to, I really don't know. I really don't know. What I do is I wake up every day, in the 24 hours of the day, I can guarantee you, 20 hours of the 24 hours is devoted to Sundowns. That I can guarantee.
Let's get the mic to Lawrence. I've also noted Delmain.
Coach Lawrence from Middlesbrough Times.
How are you, Lawrence?
So I want to say who cares, Coach, but
No, but who cares? It's true.
But anyway, I don't want to go. None of us in the media want to go away not having clarity of what you said of why Loach is not available. Is he injured? Did he fall down a staircase or something?
No, he's injured.
Okay, it's not internally suspended by the club or anything.
No, he's injured, but he has been removed from the group. Yes,
Okay.
he got injured against Stelis in Cape Town, and he might have to undergo surgery. So, that's the last game of the season. So it might be that the season is done for him, unfortunately.
And just any other squad updates in terms of injuries, anybody that's not available?
I don't want to give names because there's a couple of very big concerns, and I don't want to. But there are a couple of very big concerns. But yeah, let's see. We've got 2 more days to try and work some magic there.
Delmain.
Coach, Delmain.
How is it?
Good, thanks. What do you say to the constant, I wouldn't call it murmurs because they've said it outright, but your colleagues saying that Sundowns' success is down to your money? Does it insult the work that is actually being done because you guys have thrown money at it in the past and failed? What do you say? Because 2 of your colleagues has come out and said that they're so far ahead because of their money. What your response to that?
They are right. They are right.
Okay, can we get the mic? I'm taking the last round now. Mahlatsi. Okay. Alright, now I've noted you as well.
Afternoon, Coach.
Afternoon, sir.
I'm Newabo from KHD Radio.
How you know?
I'm well, Coach. How are you, sir?
Good, my brother.
Coach, in the 90 minutes or in the 120 or in the penalties, what would you say would be that one big defining moment in this cup final?
Cup finals are like a completely different game. The cup finals I've been involved in, it's minute details and things just sway one way to the other, and it's a different ball game completely. But you've just got to control what you can control and be as prepared as you possibly can, and perform to your best. That's for every single minute of the 97 minutes or 120 or even with the penalties. So I think that's just the mentality and the focus that we have.
Mahlatsi, and then last one will be Kensani.
Coach,
Sure, Mahlatsi.
obviously, I remember after the Nedbank Cup match at Maritzburg and Stax, you spoke a lot about been tired and because of the schedule and that kind of thing. But you know, the
Being tired.
you did say you are
Yeah,
tired
yeah, yeah.
of that matches.
True.
And you know, everybody will down tools. Some have, but you know, you still have a final on Saturday. After the final, you will down tools. And I just want to check. And we know how relentless we've been in terms of trying to work. And are you planning on some sort of a break, maybe a smaller than a holiday, or go to the Euros or watch football? After this, what are you going to do to recharge the batteries? Because next season is going to be pretty much the same thing. Champions League and all these other tournaments that you guys play.
I've been invited to go to with a friend to go to the Euros. Yes, I don't know if I will accept the invitation. But yeah, we all need a bit of a break. Yeah, no, for sure. It's much needed. But there's also still 57 games to watch. What I do at the end of the season is I go through every single game, and I do it in a much more relaxed state, with no emotions, without seeing the players. Sometimes you see the player and you watch the game and you're like, my goodness, well, how can you do this? And then it upsets you, you know. So there's no emotional connotations because I don't get to see them. And then when I don't see them, I miss them. And I have to promise them that I won't disturb their holidays, because sometimes I watch a game and I'm like, I need to call Marcelo Allende about this. And now I'm talking to Marcelo about a game that was played last year already in September. And Marcelo is on holiday, you know, in Chile, and he's his coach back there. I mean, so I have to make promises to them that I won't disturb their holidays.
Last one.
Thanks, Fatu. Coach, I mentioned it the other day that this team, this season, has been a team of silver linings. Losing in the MTN 8, win the AFL, win the league immediately after being knocked out of the Champions League semi-finals. And this past Saturday, just falling short into getting the invincible tag.
Yeah.
Do you now look at this final of the Nedbank Cup as maybe a silver lining of coming from the disappointing loss on the last day of the season, and maybe you can lift the trophy?
No, because I just think cup finals are unique and need to you can't play the final on the context of having played and lost a league match. It's impossible. The game itself is just about what happens on the pitch during the match, and nothing about what happened in the previous fixtures, nothing about what happened in the last game. Is about performing. Finals are not meant to be played, they are meant to be won. And that's the mentality we go into.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. We're gonna end it here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, members of the media.
Safe.
Safe, thank you.